Good morning.
Good morning.
We have with us today Mr. Luwellyn Landers, Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of South Africa. Welcome to the Institute. The first question is about the guidelines of the foreign policy of South Africa. Could you explain us a little bit of these guidelines and also of the philosophy of the South African foreign policy?
Well, our foreign policy is based on human rights, what we call Ubuntu, which essentially means that you cannot do things in isolation. You have to work together. And our foreign policy is based on our past experiences, of course. We came through a very difficult period of having to overcome the apartheid regime, which was responsible for crimes against humanity. And all these experiences have helped in determining our foreign policy.
I would like to ask you about strategic partnerships. I would like to focus on Europe and especially on Spain. Could you tell us about something about the relationship between South Africa and the European Union and specifically with Spain?
Well, the European Union remains strategically one of South Africa's most important trading partners, and we value our relationships with the European Union. Spain, of course, given its position within the European Union and now within the Security Council, obviously also is a strategic partner for South Africa. And we view our relationship with Spain as being of vital importance.
Could you tell us something about the view of South Africa regarding the reform of the Security Council?
South Africa's views are the views of the African Union, which essentially says that the United Nations Security Council must be transformed. And that transformation means that the veto power must be done away with, firstly. Secondly, that the actual Security Council must be expanded and to include 26 permanent members. And of those 26, at least 2 must come from Africa. We see other regions being represented on that Security Council as well, for example, India, Brazil, and so on. And essentially, what we are striving for is the democratization of the UN Security Council.
Thank you. And the last question is about the rise of Africa, about the century of Africa. What's your view about this issue?
We are very excited about the progress on the African continent. Much of this can be put down to the hard work of the African Union. Hasn't always been successful, and we haven't always thumped our chests and pushed out our chests and said, look at what we've done. But we must acknowledge much of the successes that are happening in Africa can be put down to the hard work of the African Union and the other regional bodies within the continent. And so we foresee a bright future for the African continent.
Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.